Hi to all of you future FGO players. Since the 3rd anniversary for FGO NA went by recently, I decided to make a video for those who are looking to get into the game but still not sure if it's worth playing or not as we're heading into the year 2021. I know that it's been a while since the anniversary. It took some time to make this video, as it's my first. Anyways, to start you should ask yourself, how did you get interested in this game? Did you hear about it or were you just interested in the Fate franchise as a whole from the beginning? But let's be honest, you probably read a dojin related to FGO and now you're here. Personally, I first got introduced to Fate by watching Fate Zero and then went on to watch the rest of the anime adaptations. After that I got interested in Type Moon in general, so I read the Fate Stay Night visual novels, went on to watch The Garden of Sinners, and later on I read Tsukahime, and that's how I got interested in FGO. If you're interested in the Fate franchise as a whole, then that's great, since almost all the characters from the anime adaptation are in the game by a form or another. However, there is a bad side to that and I will get to that later on. Although if you just like gacha games and know how they work, then I think you'll like the game, since I think despite the bad reputation of being a salt mine, I personally think it's one of the most free-to-play friendly games out there. I will also get to why it is in a second. Let's talk about the game. What type of game is FGO? FGO is a gacha game with a turn-based combat system like a lot of JRPGs. The game is only PvE with no PvP at all. For those of you who don't know what gacha is, it's basically a character collector game, and the only way to get these characters is by rolling in a type of lottery that uses a specific currency. These currency can be acquired through the game or by paying real money. In FGO these characters are called servants. Each servant has a star rank from 1 star, which is the lowest rarity, up to 5 stars, which is the highest rarity. And that's where we come to the bad side I mentioned earlier. Aside from 1 to 3 star servants, getting 4 or 5 stars is quite difficult. The chances of getting a 4 star is 2% dart and the chances of getting a 5 star is 1%. Keep in mind that these are the chances to get any of the 4 star 5 star servants in the banner. So to get the specific servant you want, the chances are even lower. The thing is, that most popular servants are 5 or 4 stars. For example, I've been playing this game for over 2 years. I consider myself lucky since I have a lot of strong servants even though I am free to play. I don't even roll in the GSSRs. But I still don't have the full cast of Fate Zero, cause I am still missing Iskander and Gil. So keep that in mind when starting this game, which is that you may play the game for a long time without getting your waifu or husbando. This can be a problem to a lot of people. And now to why I think this game is really free to play friendly. Firstly, 1 star to 3 star servants aren't useless, in fact a lot of them are pretty strong, some may even be better than some 4-5 star servants at least, in my opinion. For example, we have Ku. This guy is probably one of the best lancers in the game to this day. This guy is almost immortal and his damage is not bad. Keep in mind that he's only a 3 star servant, so you'll get him pretty early on. Plus, who doesn't like Ku? Another example is Uriel. She specializes in doing stupid damage to male enemies, and the only other servant that may come close to replace her in that niche is a 5 star servant that I personally don't like. A third example would be Hans. This Shota is one of the best supports in my opinion, considering his rarity. He can heal, buff damage, buff defense, increase critical stars generation, and buffing crit damage. What else could you need? Keep in mind that he's a 2 star, which is just amazing. Not to mention that the first servant you get in the game for free is Mash, and she is one of the best if not the best defensive servant in the entire game. There is also the fact that some events give you free 4 star servants and most of the time they are amazing. An example for that is Kintoki Rider. Although you can't get him anymore, he is still probably the best 4 star rider in the game, and guess what? Everyone who did his event got him for free. And these type of events are still coming out, so you can get pretty strong servants for just finishing events. I should also mention the support system, which lets you use servants from your friends' accounts to help you. Using these supports gives you FP, which lets you roll the FP gacha that gives you 1 to 3 star servants. Now let's talk about the story. I don't want to get too much into that since I don't want to spoil anything, but I will say that the story is kinda slow at the beginning but then becomes really good later on. Also, if you're concerned about the difficulty of the game, then don't worry. Other than challenge quests and certain story quests, the game is quite easy in general. Aside from playing the story and events, which is kinda like 15% of the game, the other 85% is farming. Yep, farming. To upgrade any servant you need to farm certain materials to level them up to a certain point and another type of material to ascend them, which basically means increasing their max XP cap. And unlocking new skills. And to add to that, you need even more materials to upgrade servant skills. All these upgrades are accompanied by a certain amount of QP, which is another currency in the game that's used in almost everything in the game. I should also mention that higher ranking servants require more materials and QP to max out, which is a fair trade considering that they generally have higher stats. A lot of gacha games have some sort of energy system that can limit how much you play the game. The energy is represented by an AP bar. Each quest uses a certain amount of AP. AP is replenished by time, or by consuming certain items, or, if you're an idiot, by some quartz, which is the gacha currency. The game gives you a lot of these items. The items are apples. Just check how many apples I have, so if I were you I wouldn't worry about it at all. Let's talk about continuity. This game will probably stay for some time. It makes a lot of money to its devs. Thus I don't think they'll abandon it. Also keep in mind that the NA server is 2 years behind the JP server, so as long as the JP server is still going, it's safe to assume that the NA server will still have 2 more years of content. I should also point out that FGO has quite the consistent number of content. We get a new event every 1-2 weeks that's also beside the main story, so you'll probably always have something to do in the game. Unless you're addicted and play 13 hours a day. And to that I tell you, go get some help. You need it. And lastly, let's talk about FGO community. This is where you'll find a lot of types of people, and by a lot, I mean a lot. But so far my experience has been really nice. Most people respect each other's opinions. Also, a lot of veterans help out new players. I never felt like I was inferior to anyone when I started out. Sure, there will always be some shitheads who are just toxic because you just don't like their waifu, but most of the time it's rare to find these type of people. However, no matter how good the community is, salt is salt. So most of the time it's not a good idea to show off your lucky rolls. I should also mention that there are tons of comics and fanarts related to FGO, and I don't think I need to mention the other types of content related, so I am sure you'll enjoy being in this community. To conclude, here are my final thoughts. Do I think that this game is worth playing? Absolutely yes, it's worth a try at least. Am I saying that you'll like it? I am not. It all comes down to your preferences, what you value more, and more importantly, if you enjoy playing the game or not. That's all I had to say. This is my first YouTube video. I can't afford a mic, so I will probably use that voice for some time. Now don't forget to like and subscribe to this stupid channel. I will be posting mainly FGO content, guides and maybe some news. I may also post stuff related to Arknights, still not sure though. Anyways, have a nice day. Bye. Oh shit. I ran out of stuff to talk about and the video is still not 10 minutes. Well, I will leave this casual boring gameplay on. You can leave if you want, unless you don't know what to do with your time.
我が劇場のキラマナーのなっていない客よな。そこを動くな。大輪の花と散れ。この奇跡は星のように。 様はマナーのなっていない客きらめくぞ。カラスカラスアウトレイジアマゾ迷うな。我がよかろきらめくぞ。潰れてしまう。大輪の花の散れ。夏の話題を独り占めだな。見せ場だ。任せるがよい。夏の話題を独り占めだな。勝っていられるか。オリンピアプラウデーすぐ回転の席を上げよ。劇場は海より来た。王子総言しかして流霊。見るがよい。これぞお茶を歌うイルステリアス。すなわちオーバー潰れてしまう。待てよ。実況する実況する実況する。見せ場だ。任せるがよい。我がマナーになっていない客よな。そこを動くな。なかなか骨のある強者である。